Park, a high school outcast, is being bullied by Toshi and others in the bathroom. Scared, the boy does whatever the bullies want, like pretending to be a dog and making dog noises. Toshi changes his mind and insults him, calling him a dirty pig because he's overweight. He then makes the boy make pig noises while rolling on the dirty bathroom floor. The bully then beats him up, making the boy feel really bad about himself. Back at home, Park stays in his room, but his stomach starts growling. He goes to the kitchen, boils water for his instant noodles, and starts humming to calm down as he remembers the bullying. Just then, his mom comes home, compliments his voice, and says sorry for being late as she makes the noodles for him. Angry with everything, he yells at his mom for adding an egg to his meal, blaming her for his weight gain. His mom says sorry, accepting his anger. He starts eating his noodles but feels sad remembering the bullies. Upset, he tells his mom he wants to change schools because he keeps getting low grades. But it's hard for his mom because rent is expensive in other places. Frustrated, Park hits the wall, saying it's not his fault they're poor. The next day at school, Toshi sees him and asks for his gym clothes, which Park rushes to get. On the school grounds, Toshi throws a soccer ball at Park as part of a bet. Park dodges, making Toshi mad. Another student punches Park, making Toshi even angrier. Toshi criticizes Park's dodging skills and punches him in the stomach. Toshi laughs, saying he's good at hitting people in the stomach. Park's mom arrives and sees what's happening. She runs to him and checks on him. Seeing Park hurt, she scolds Toshi for hurting her son. Park hears his classmates making fun of him for calling his mom, as his mom threatens to take Toshi to the principal. Park yells at his mom, saying she's embarrassing him, and apologizes to Toshi. After school, Park's mom lets him change schools and promises to send him some money since she can't go with him to work. She starts making him food and he cries. Even though he feels bad, he listens to his mom and decides to start fresh. Park finds his new home, a small old house. He goes to the city and bumps into a girl named Midori who says sorry to him. Surprised by her kindness, he tries to make a good impression but ends up seeming creepy. Midori's friend, Shinji, arrives and fights Park, thinking he's bothering Midori. People record the fight on their phones. Later, Park reads mean comments on the video and cries himself to sleep, thinking he's lost his chance at a fresh start. When he wakes up, he goes to the bathroom and finds he's turned into an attractive version of himself. Thinking he's dreaming, he looks around and sees his original body still asleep. He wakes himself up, thinking he had a scary but happy dream. But when he looks again, he sees his handsome self on the floor. He realizes he's not dreaming but swapping bodies. Thinking this could give him a fresh start, he decides to embrace it. The next day, Park goes to his new school. His new looks make him popular, and everyone is amazed by how good-looking he is. As he walks to his seat, he feels nervous with everyone staring at him. He sits down, remembering how he was rejected on his first day at his old school. He looks at his seatmate and sees it's the boy who beat him up the day before. Filled with fear, he quickly looks away from him and spots the girl who bumped into him before. He starts sweating nervously, especially when Shinji introduces himself. Luckily, Shinji doesn't seem to recognize him in his new appearance. Just then, another girl from his class named Newell introduces herself and gets really close to him, making him blush. The girls in class start gossiping about her, calling her a flirt for approaching the new handsome guy. She tries to flirt with him, but Shinji shuts her down, saying her flirting annoys him. He wonders if all the girls will embarrass themselves like her. He notices Midori and feels disappointed when he sees that all her attention is on Park. Frustrated, he looks at Park with contempt. During lunch break, Park enters the cafeteria and the students immediately start talking about his good looks, unaware of the attention he's getting. He looks around at his classmates, observing them. Newell comes up to him, explaining the different groups in school and how each class has its own thing. She points out the jocks, the artsy kids, and the stylish ones, which surprises him as they're allowed to dye their hair. Curious about him, she asks why he chose to study fashion design. This reminds him of the conversation he had with his mom and teacher about his grades and why he chose the school. Back in the present, Park smiles and tells her he thought the class would be fun. She gushes over his looks and asks how he finds the school so far. Park slips up and mentions that it's nice nobody makes him wait in line for lunch. He quickly corrects himself, saying he's enjoying the school and has nice classmates. Meanwhile, Shinji glares at him, jealous of the attention he's getting. In class, Park feels sleepy and struggles to focus. He remembers how agile his new body felt when he practiced walking. Back in class, he keeps nodding off and eventually falls asleep. As a result, he wakes up in his old body and panics, realizing he can't switch back while at school. He tries to force himself to sleep, but since his original body has been sleeping, it's hard. Thankfully, Newell startles him awake, saving him from getting in trouble. Grateful, he thanks her, making her blush. In his original body, Park starts a part-time job at a convenience store on the night shift. He assures his boss he can handle the hours since he sleeps during the day, but the boss warns him not to sleep in class. Park remembers how he got hired. In his new body, he saw the job posting and asked about it. Seeing how good-looking he was, the boss hired him on the spot, thinking he'd help boost sales. However, he told the owner that the job was for his friend, disappointing the old man. Park showed up at the store later, but the owner initially refused to hire him. After demonstrating his knowledge of cigarette brands from his school errands, the man reluctantly agreed to hire him, but with lower pay. In the present, Park struggled to serve customers but felt relieved to finally have a job for extra cash. Alone, he pondered his situation, realizing that when he falls asleep, he wakes up in the other body and vice versa. The sleeping body can't wake up on its own unless forced to. Just then, 3 male customers entered the store, recognizable as students from his class. Knowing their real age, he refused to sell cigarettes to them. Shinji arrived and decided to harass Park due to their previous encounter. His annoyance grew when he realized Park had the same name as the popular boy who pursued Midori. Angrily, he started beating Park despite his friend's objections. After the beating, one classmate took a photo of Park as insurance against him, reporting them to the police. They left Park crying, reminding him of the bullies from his old school, realizing nothing had changed. His mother called, checking on him, and he assured her he was fine. Meanwhile, his mother continued to work hard to support his schooling. The next day, he overheard classmates laughing about the boy Shinji's gang beat up, thinking it was him, making him angry. Shinji bragged about being a boxer and insulted Park, calling him a pig. Park spoke out against them, catching Midori's attention. Shinji tried to provoke him into fighting, but another classmate, Jiro, intervened. Refusing to back down, Park surprised everyone by easily dodging and blocking Shinji's punches and eventually landing a knockout punch, shocking the whole school. Park's unexpected skills and strength became the talk of the school, drawing the attention of bullies and gangs, hinting at more trouble ahead. While working, Park reflected on how differently people perceived him in his new body. A boy entered the store and stole cigarettes, prompting Park to chase him into a dark alley where Shinji's gang awaited, revealing they had sent the boy on the errand and threatening Park with his photo if he reported them. Bored, they forced the two to fight. Jiho tries to fight Park, wanting to prove himself. Suddenly, a huge man named Bosco steps in and scares the bullies off. Jiho thanks Bosco, who turns out to be Park's classmate. Bosco and Jiho talk about the new boy in class, but Bosco unexpectedly breaks down in tears, leaving them confused. The next day, Park learns that Jiho is absent and wonders why. He notices Shinji looking at him with disdain and avoids eye contact. At lunch, he asks Newell about Bosco, who reveals Bosco is Layun, the founder of a group called Burn Knuckle. The bullies intervene, saying Layun dislikes those who bully the weak. Burn Knuckle arrives and Bosco approaches Park, mistaking him for a bad guy. Newell tries to help, but Burn Knuckle's second in command, Banzai, stops her. Bosco grabs Park's shoulder, but Park surprises everyone by breaking free and apologizing. Banzai ends the fight, and Burn Knuckle leaves peacefully. The bullies praise Park for standing up to Bosco, inviting him to hang out. Excited, he imagines ordinary high school activities with them and agrees to join. However, their meeting turns out to be a night of drinking, not what Park expected. Shinji arrives, surprised to see Park there. They learn Park lives with a dropout friend, sleeps during the day, and works at night. They joke that Park must live with someone from the Yakuza. Shinji drinks and Park asks about Midori. His classmates say she avoids them when they fight. Unaware of their relationship, Park casually asks how they became a couple, embarrassing Shinji. They comment on their good looks, annoying Shinji but making him smile. He apologizes for punching Park and they bond before Shinji passes out. Meanwhile, the bullies plan to involve Jiho in stealing, but Bosco stops them. They show a video of Jiho and Park fighting and mock them. Drunk, Park destroys the phone before passing out, causing him to switch back to his original body and panic. He rushes to the drinking place, surprising the group, and claims to be Park's friend, there to pick him up. After the misunderstanding with his friends, Park walks home with a drunk Shinji who teaches him boxing moves and punches an arcade machine to demonstrate. When alone with his sleeping body, Park tries to replicate the move but fails due to his short arm, feeling embarrassed and running away. Meanwhile, Bosco and his gang observe him, noting his ability to damage the machine. The next day, Park expresses concern to Ji-ho about his absence and invites him to eat together, surprising everyone. Meanwhile, Park's mother visits his apartment and sees his sleeping body. And that's the end of our video. To see more, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.